Ready? Alright, so we're now at the front of the camper. We're down beneath where the hitch is. This is your front compartment. Most of your controls, or if you guys have batteries, your generator, that's what's in this compartment. First things first, you guys have two SRM 27 deep cycle interstate batteries in here. They help operate everything while you guys are boondocking, while you're going down the road. It will not run the ACs on its own. That requires either the generator, an inverter, or your power plug-in in order for the ACs to run. But the batteries are always there to help if you're going to be using it within 24 hours. It'll run for a while, but it won't run the whole time. So you have both of those right there. Right here's the vent for both of those batteries. And then you guys have an on and off light for the front of the hitch there, your docking light, front cap. Right here you guys have your hydraulics. So the best way to check the fluid for that is if it's hooked up to a truck, I'd make sure all the jacks are brought up, and all the jacks will push the fluid back into the reservoir. And if you see the fluid levels below the fill line or above the max line, that just tells you how to fill up your fluid in case it's low or high. I definitely recommend looking into the owner's manual to see what kind of hydraulic fluid that takes or requires. You can't just buy any from the store and throw it. So there's that. Right here you have your solar charge controller. It's nothing really that you can control. It's just the computer board for the solar. So it just lets it know how much to be giving the battery and how much the battery's reading, and communication between the solar and the batteries. All right. If you guys were to have a inverter put in, actually it's already up there. It's a pure sine wave inverter up there in the top of the compartment. So you have an inverter and a generator. All right. An inverter brings 12 volt to 120. A converter brings 120 to 12 volt. And then you come over and you have a generator here, which just takes your fuel that you'll fill up in the back where the garage is, and that'll be running your generator. Some generators run off of propane or gas, but this one is just strictly gas, so you don't have to worry there. The best way to fill up your oil is right through here. I do believe in order to do an oil change, you're going to go up from underneath. If not, you can just call a Blue Compass or somebody work on a generator to do that. Alright, right here you have the start and stop for the generator. You have the the 30 amp and the 50 amp circuit breakers. And we'll test that out real quick. So in order to start it, you want to hold it down to prime it. You'll see the red light come on, and then that tells you that you're good to start it. So the generator will run your AC, your fridge, and your appliances while you guys are boondocking. Obviously make sure it doesn't run out of fuel, or else you won't have anything to power it. Alright, I don't think there's any more in there I'm missing. If you guys have any questions about this particular system, they do have the owner's manual inside, which also talks about this, the instructions to it, any recommendations it has regarding maintenance. There. I think that's it. Go off to the next compartment. Right over here you have one of your two propane tanks. So they have both been filled for you. It takes a total of 60 pounds of propane between both tanks. This operates your stove, your oven, your water heater, and your furnace. The electric fireplace obviously runs on electric. So I'd make sure, unless you guys are boondocking, to not use this for your furnace. Use your electric fireplace if you're plugged in. Alright, right here you have your propane regulator. So this just determines which tank you're using while you're camping. It is not an electronic switch, it's manual, so make sure that before the propane runs out, you come out here and you switch it over to another tank that's open so it doesn't run out. Alright, right now it's on this tank and this one is open, so we can test it out, everything inside. Then the other tank is on the other side, just switch it that way. Let's see. Off to the main storage compartment, very big space. You can fit multiple things in there. They have your leveling system on the back door at the front compartment on the off door side. So there's not really much here besides the 5 buttons. In order to turn it on, you just want to hold both buttons down. You'll see a green light come on, and that tells you that it's on. So up arrow raises up the front. If you hit down, it'll lower the front. If you want to auto level, you just hit auto level, same as inside. Make sure that the slides are in and that nobody's walking in and out before you do that. Hitch height takes a few times of using it. And then retract all. So if you hit retract all, as I mentioned inside, it'll bring all the jacks up. So there's no way to bring up the rear jacks only from outside. It would have to be from inside. So just make sure you don't hit that again if it's not hooked up to a truck, because it controls all 6 of them. All right. And if you have any questions on that, they do have instructions as well for the level. All right, right down here you have your main water controls. So this is where you guys do most of your hookup from the outside. You have your satellite, your cable, and your auxiliary hookup from the campground. You have an outdoor shower. The hose for that is right here. Just pops right in. As you see, goes right in the hole, hooks on, and then you have an outdoor shower. All right. This is a puzzle diagram that directs you to, or just directs where your water goes inside the camper. So for example, if you guys were using the water in your fresh tank as if you were dry camping, you would make sure it's set like this. And when you have water in there, it's going to use the water from your fresh tank up to your faucets. It's not going to take it from the inlet. Your city inlet to tank, so this would be the way you direct water to fill it. So you'll hook up a water hose here, the campground or at your house. The water flows in, goes directly to the fresh tank, and goes up to your faucet. And then from there, it's just filling it. That's all it's doing. All right, right here you have city water. So if you're at a campground or at your house and you're always going to leave it there, all you have to do is just hook up a water hose here, turn it on at the spigot, and as long as it's on this setting, you'll always have water at your faucets. All right. Right here you have winterize and siphon. Winterizing, this just means after you empty out your fresh water, you hook up a hose here, put it into an RV antifreeze bottle, and when you turn on the water pump is going to suck up the antifreeze through the lines until you see the pink antifreeze come out of your faucets, and that just prevents your lines from cracking in the wintertime when you're storing it. If you guys are using it in the winter, then you do not want antifreeze in there. All right. You can also winterize just by draining out the water and not having any antifreeze in it. As long as it's dry, you should be fine. All right. Siphon is the same way. It's just sanitizing your tanks, and that'll tell you how to do it up here as well. All right. So this is your city water inlet, I mentioned before. That's where your water goes in. Right here you have your black tank flush. So this just flushes out your toilet tank, or also known as your black tank. I'd make sure that your sewage is drained first. So once you drain out your sewage, you hook up a water hose here. The water is going to go into the black tank, splash around, and as long as you leave the black tank handle open, the water is going to go down, out the sewage hose and into the dump station. All it is just a flush. So you want the water to go in and come directly out, nothing blocking it or any obstacles. All right. There is another black tank flush towards the back for the rear garage bathroom. All right. Right here you have auxiliary freshwater tank fill. So this is just another spot to fill up your fresh tank. You have a water filter here. I would change that. If you guys are using it often, then I'd make sure you change it regularly. Once you start to see it get a little dirty or it's not doing its job, then I would just change it. All right. You have your black tank handles. So black tank, gray tank, gray tank. This one should be the shower and sink up here. Or the shower, I think this is the sink water in the back garage. This one should be for the main bathroom up front. You have your black tank for the main bathroom up here, this toilet, and then the other black tank handle for the back bathroom is towards the rear. You guys can run all your hoses down that way, so keep your compartment locked and closed at night. You have your bedroom cable, garage cable, that's just other spots to plug in at, and then you have a 110 outlet. These are your low point drains. Your low point drains just drain the water out of your lines, not from your fresh tank, but just from whatever's sitting in your water lines. And that's how you also winterize. All right, right in here you'll notice that you have a wrench. This is in case you need to take down the spare tire that's in the back. So that's what that's there for. All campers come with them. And then right here you have your inner vac system, which I will explain more about on the other side. All Alright, so this is just all the connections for your intervac system. You do have a handle there to manually bring in the awning in case the motors do not work anymore. And then you also have the ladder for, just an additional ladder for the bunk. Alright. Down here you have your generator exhaust, so that runs from the front of the generator down to here. I just make sure that nobody's over here while it's hot. I think that's it for the front compartment, or at least for the corner compartment.